Today we're going to look at some hand signs to learn the principles of the Constitution, or the rules that our government must follow. Now, the most important one by far is limited government. Limited government means that the government is limited by the rules in the Constitution. Now, another way that we limit the government is through popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty means that the government gets its power from the people. People control the government. Now, another way that we control the government is through republicanism. Republicanism means the people elect representatives to carry out their will. Those representatives ask us what we want, then they go back to Congress and write laws in our favor. Now, another way we're protected is through individual rights. With individual rights, the government protects our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And those rights are listed in Amendments 1 through 10, or in other words, in the Bill of Rights. Now, we want to make sure that our government doesn't get too powerful. We don't want another tyrant again like King George III. So our government's divided by federalism. Federalism is found in Amendment number 10. Federalism means that national and state government divide and share powers. Now, at the national and state level, they're also divided through separation of powers. In separation of powers, the three branches each have their own superpower. The legislative branch writes the laws. The executive branch carries out the laws. The judicial branch interprets the laws to figure out what they mean. Lastly, we have checks and balances. In checks and balances, each of the three branches can check or balance the other. Let's talk about an example. The legislative branch, that's right, write the laws. The executive branch can come and veto that law. Now, I'm not done yet. The legislative branch can vote on that law, and if 2/3 of them vote to keep it, they can override that veto, and the bill turns into a law. So let's go over these real quickly to make sure that we have them. In limited government, the government is limited by the rules of the Constitution. With popular sovereignty, power belongs to the people. People control the government. With republicanism, we elect our representatives to carry out our will. In individual rights, the government protects our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. With federalism, it's found in Amendment 10, and it says that national and state government divide and share powers. With separation of powers, the separation of powers says that each of the three branches have their own superpower. The legislative branch writes the laws, the executive branch carries out the laws, and the judicial branch interprets the laws to figure out what they mean. And lastly, we have checks and balances. With checks and balances, each of the three branches can check and balance out the other. You've now learned the principles of the Constitution, or the rules our government must follow.